What is up, guys? Hope you're good. This one is not gonna be a repair, it'll just be a random video. Anyways, here I've got a PlayStation 4 Slim which came in as dead power supply. So now you can see the console is working, it's on, and it's the one displaying over there. So cool. That's not the issue. The issue is on pricing. Yeah, pricing and dealing with customers. So typically when you're working with a customer, they'll probably see you fixing something within like a couple of minutes, and then they're like, nah, you fix it in a very short space of time. I'm not gonna pay a lot. But what they don't consider is the process that led you to being able to fix within minutes. Yeah, just because it was fixed within minutes, it doesn't mean it was a small issue. You are probably just experienced. So also, not only talking about that, the only way for you to actually gain that experience is, that's the other part which I'm going to talk about. So yeah, the next time that I come across an issue like this, it'll probably take me, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes to fix this. But in this case, it took me, I don't even know, I started fixing this around 8 p.m. last night, and right now it's 3:45. Yeah, so right now it's 3:45 a.m., which is more or less 4 plus 4, which is more or less 8 hours, I think. Am I right? Yeah, 8 to 12, that'll be 4, and then 12 to 3:45, that's like 3 hours 45 minutes. So yeah, it's almost 8 hours that I've been fixing this thing. And yeah, now it's finally working. But then what issues did I face? So first of all, this power supply came in is dead. So I won't lie, initially I was getting 5 volts here. So initially I was getting the 5 volt standby, and then when you would try to start the console, it just wouldn't work. It didn't work at all. Reason being, you only had 5 volts here, but you didn't have 5 volts on the standby pin. So you're supposed to have 5 volts SP, and then you should have 5 volts standby. Then you get the AC detect. So the AC detect actually comes from the motherboard. When you press the power button, signal comes from the motherboard to switch on the 12 volts. So initially this 12 volts does not exist. So that information you already know. You can see the 12 volts ground. So that information I'm sure you already know, and that's besides the point. So I was getting the 5 volts, but I was not getting the 5 volt standby. Then I had to change the DNP012A. Once I've changed that, I did get that voltage, and then I tried to start the power supply. The power supply just went dead. I didn't have the 5 volt standby, I didn't have the 5 volts SP. So there was dead silence, nothing working at all. I had to trace it back. This diode was fine, I didn't have to change it, but I'd already changed the DNP. Then I had to trace back, there was nothing faulty. I'm not gonna lie or say anything was the issue here. Everything was fine. Eventually, out of the blue, when I plugged the power there, this MOSFET blew up, and then the resistors blew as well, right over there. I changed the resistors, I changed the MOSFET, it blew. Changed the resistors, changed the MOSFET, it blew twice. So you can see I've got a pair there, resistors, and I've got the MOSFETs that I was changing, plus the original. And this one I was now just trying to see if it's gonna work. So every time the MOSFET would blow up and the resistors blow up, this one would blow up. That's a fusible resistor, which is right over there, which isolates this circuit from your supply, from your AC in. So basically from the AC cable, AC adapter, you go to the fuse, you go to the bridge rectifier, then you get your reservoir capacitors, which are over there, which are those big caps there, the black ones. So from there, then it comes via that resistor, that fusible resistor, into this circuit. So if anything is faulty here, the fuse will blow up, and then this circuit is protected. So I never even had to touch this side, not even once. The whole issue was on the other side. So at the end of the day, considering that this was blowing up, I didn't have a choice. I tried all my best, and then nothing was working out. So I had to watch YouTube. Yeah, which brings us to the second point. You can never know everything. You will never get enough knowledge. So it didn't take me one video. So to fix one issue, remember now we've got a lot of issues. We don't have 5 volts. We don't have 5 volts standby. Those two are not the same. Yeah, so there are instances where you've got 5 volts SP, but you don't have 5 volts standby. The standby one, the signal, I try to trace it around. It comes from the DNP. So that's a different issue. The 5 volt SP, it comes from, it has to be related with this MOSFET over here, which is related to this PMIC, which then receives a signal from this side. So you should be getting 100 and something volts here, 119 if I'm not mistaken. You should be getting 8 volts there, and you should be getting 11 volts on the other side. Then you can be able to release a signal from one of these pins. I think it's this pin number 2 from there, which then comes and enables this regulator to now get your 5 volts. So that information you wouldn't just come across it. As much as you can read a schematic and know it, which I didn't even read, but I had to watch hours and hours of YouTube until I eventually managed to get the issue. So you can see that video, I was about to watch it before, just then I managed to fix this issue. So number one, you can't know everything. You need to invest your time into figuring out things. That way, only that way. And also you shouldn't go straight to a YouTube video where you just get a solution, because you don't know why that person did that. 90% of the time you just see how they did it, and then you replicate that process, and the console is working. But if you give yourself time to work on whatever you're fixing, it gives you that knowledge to actually know what you're dealing with, to know exactly how the circuit works. So at this point you give me a PlayStation 4 power supply, I know basically how it should go, the whole sequence up all the way up to the 5 volts, and then to the signal which comes from the motherboard to enable the 12 volts. So you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't just happen to know that. So if you take a look here, that's the bunch of motherboards that I had to grab parts from. There is even more. So I had to grab parts from here. I got to a point where I exhausted this MOSFET, the one which kept blowing up there. So you can see it's off from all the motherboards, from all the PCBs of power supplies. So to be able to get this MOSFET, now I had to read the information of the MOSFET, look for the data sheet over there, and then started looking for MOSFETs from random motherboards, and then checking the data sheet until I found one which was a little bit related. So I managed to take that one and then put it here. And this one I took it from a PlayStation 3 actually. Yeah, the last one that I opened, this one, there's a PlayStation 3 power supply which works. The console is right over there. But we don't really get PlayStation 3s anymore. I think I've got like 3 of them which are working, not even faulty. So I don't even get the point anymore, and we don't even sell them at all. So yeah, that's why I had to break that power supply and use the component. Also, it's a non-working component, so I wouldn't have an issue there. Anyways, yeah, so it takes you a lot of, I forgot. So one thing that happened is that once I had replaced it, when I replaced the third time, I think I was still not getting 5 volt. I was not getting anything, and which explains what happened actually the first time when I stopped getting any voltage here. What had happened was that these resistors here, right around the PM controller, PMIC, this one, power management IC, these two resistors had failed. So you're supposed to be getting like what was it? It was 150 ohms here and 20 ohms over here. So these two resistors failed, both of them, and your signal coming from this PM controller comes through these two resistors, and then it goes all the way to enable this guy. So I had to change those ones. You can see them over here. Don't mind the dirt on my workbench. I've been removing and closing things for a long time now. Anyways, yeah, those had failed. Those two had failed. So at the end of the day, I had to change this guy. I had to change. I tried to work on these ones, and then I noticed there was no issue on them. So I put them back. I had to change this guy, the PMIC. I had to change those two. Let's follow the circuit. I had to change those two several times, these ones, and then I had to change this one like 3-4 times. I had to change this one 2 times. So even after I changed it the first time, I had to change it again. So this is the one that I had replaced with, and no, that's the original one. This is the original one here, and this is the one that I had replaced with the first time, and that's the PMIC which I had removed. There you go. So it takes you hours. You need to invest hours into knowing what you're working on. You need to invest hours into exactly researching, so that the next time you face the issue, it doesn't take you hours like this. It just takes you a few minutes. So if you take a look at those videos, I did notice something. Most of these guys, if you look at their videos, their oldest videos, they're like maybe 1 hour, 49 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. You can see this is 5 years ago, and that's 36 minutes. And this is game console repair. Six years ago, that's 38 minutes. But let's look at this. If you go up, this is 2 years ago. Now that's a different person. Anyways, this is a very bad example. This is also 6 years ago. That's 15 minutes. So they are fixing the same thing, but what you would notice is generally once as the years come closer to the present date, they take less time to fix stuff compared to when they started. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you got to learn something from this. Yeah, and I hope you will invest time into learning and understanding what you're working with. Anyways, that's it for now, guys. Cheers. I will see you in another video.